Hey, I'm Jesse. Let's have a devotion. We are still in the book of Daniel, but if you're watching this contemporaneously with the Redemption Church, it is Christmas week. And so I want to keep studying Daniel, but I also want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and I want your devotions to be somewhat seasonable, right? So I want to give you a few examples as we come up on Christmas Day, Redemption Church, that will still be useful for other churches using this content after the fact, in which some of our passages we've already studied from Daniel are quoted in the Gospels. And so the same themes that are introduced in Daniel reappear in the Gospels. One of them you're already familiar with. I want to talk about Nebuchadnezzar's vision one more time, his first vision. Particularly the stone that crushes the feet that are iron mixed with fired clay. And it destroys the entire statue. All of the gold, the silver, the bronze, the iron, they all just scatter to the wind like chaff. And that rock that catapults toward the statue, though not thrown by any gigantic human hand, meaning it's not done by the work of man, this rock becomes a mountain that fills the whole earth. And it is a kingdom that won't be given to anybody because it's never going to end. This is Christ's kingdom. And so that means that all rock music really should be music about Jesus. And I'll make my biblical case for that before we're up. Here's a recap of the account of Nebuchadnezzar's secret vision by Daniel to Nebuchadnezzar. As you were watching, a stone broke off without a hand touching it, struck the statue on its feet of iron and fired clay, and crushed them. Then the iron, the fired clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were shattered and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors. The wind carried them away, and not a trace of them could be found, but the stone that struck the statue became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. So that is, working our way through it backwards, Jesus and his millennial kingdom destroying the Antichrist kingdom, destroying what remains of Rome and Greece and Persia and Babylon. And it's not just the Gentile kingdoms that are present at the time. They're all cast away. And then this is further elaborated on in Daniel 2:44 through 45. In the days of those kings, that means that the iron mixed with clay thing. All right, this is what I believe is the Antichrist's kingdom, that is this fusion of demonic power at work through human authorities, something that never is sustainable, that always ends in catastrophe, Bible-wide. In the days of those kings, the God of the heavens will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, and this kingdom will not be left to another people. It will crush all these kingdoms and bring them to an end. Remember this word, crush, because I believe that Jesus refers to this about himself. It will crush all these kingdoms and bring them to an end, but will itself endure forever. You saw a stone break off from the mountain without a hand touching it, and it crushed the iron, bronze, fired clay, silver, and gold. The great God has told the king what will happen in the future. The dream is certain, and its interpretation reliable. So that ending is Jesus coming in, reigning for 1,000 years, the final authority, the final kingdom, the final reign for all time will begin with a 1,000-year sprint into God making everything new again. Here is Jesus in the Gospels, Matthew 21. Jesus said to them, "Have you never read in the scriptures, the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone? This is what the Lord has done, and it is wonderful in our eyes." Quoting here from Psalm 118. "Therefore, I tell you, the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people producing its fruit. Whoever falls on this stone will be broken into pieces, but on whomever it falls, it will shatter him." Do you see how this is Jesus evoking Daniel regarding himself? On whomever this stone falls, it will shatter him. That's something that didn't occur to me until now, like while studying for this series. And it's so cool because I'd kind of stumbled over this like wording, ironically. Whoever falls in the stone will be broken into pieces, but on whoever it falls, it will shatter him. I didn't know exactly how to put that because in some uses of the cornerstone teaching, you trip over the cornerstone and you reject the cornerstone. But in this iteration, the cornerstone falls on you. And so that mixture of metaphors was like, it was difficult for me to align that with the others. But now I see exactly why Jesus did it. I'm telling you, it's straight out of Daniel. He's comparing him, he's rightly proclaiming himself to be this stone that breaks off from the mountain without a hand touching it and crushes everything else. See? He is the stone that broke off without a hand touching it, struck the statue on its feet of iron, fired clay, and crushed them. See? That's what Jesus is doing in the Gospels. So Daniel's in the Gospels. Jesus is the rock. Here's 1 Corinthians 10, 1 through 4. Now, I do not want you to be unaware, brothers and sisters, that our ancestors were all under the cloud, all passed through the sea, all were baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. They all ate the same spiritual food, drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank from the spiritual rock that followed them. That rock was Christ. That rock was Christ. He is the rock of ages. He is the cornerstone whom the builders rejected, but it turns out everything is built on him. He is the stone thrown not by a human hand from the mountain to end all empires forevermore and reign for 1,000 years right on into eternity. In the book of Daniel, we get these prophecies about Jesus as the rock, and Jesus drew upon that himself in the Gospels. Merry Christmas. And once again, rock music, real rock music, is music about Jesus.